you've got one extra button going. I kind of forgot to hit record. So, hey everybody, I'll pretend that it didn't happen. Well, no, it's streaming. We're streaming on Facebook Live. It's just I record and I put everything up on YouTube. So YouTube doesn't get the fancy intro. I'm kind of interested how my ghetto speaker setup worked versus piping it directly through. But yeah, so we got some cool some cool stuff tonight. Dude, the memes. I know you don't pay attention to a lot of the like the Facebook the Bachelor Pad Facebook page. Dude, the memes last night, like after we got out of here and after the crazy meteor thing, and you don't watch the news either. So that's all that was on the news. That's all that was, being talked about. And
I know it was because I saw it.
On what? On the news?
No, I saw it. I saw a light. Like, dude, we actually saw it hit the ground.
That was probably a car driving past you.
No, we thought it
you
was
saw
a shooting
the light.
star until my friend's mom texted him saying, "Did you see what happened in Detroit?" And we're like, whoa. And we're really not in the mood to talk either. We're like, whoa.
Yeah, no, let's just say you guys were probably not all that talkative. But yeah, dude, it was kind of crazy. It was interesting because I think when I was getting up, I've got a couple people that I talked to in Dallas that one dude's a comedian and he does a lot of Facebook stuff and YouTube stuff, but he's a comedian. Dude, the conspiracy theory stuff was ridiculous. Like, there's people that posted fake, like, this is the weird world we live in, that we had having weird random people that dude, like, oh, it was the government, it was a missile attack, it was this.
That's
and
what they said. They were like,
dude,
it was a missile.
I mean, we were
getting attacked.
we were joking about it, right? Like, haha, right? This is funny, I guess. So on that side of it, yeah, we were joking and it was it was funny, but
people are taking that so seriously,
dude. Like, and then I think I saved some of it. So some of the post work that I'll have as I when I'm done sharing. I know this sucks. Like, this is why I need like a weird engineer to sit and chill over in the corner to to do some stuff so they can share all this stuff. So I'm not having to do it.
There are a lot of engineers that walk in here. I don't know how you don't just be like, hey, guy.
A radio engineer is different. It means you've got a laptop and you hit some buttons. It's nothing. But just like Al or just like anybody else, making sure that they have the time requirements to actually do it. It's 9:30 at night. Most people are at home, watching. They're sitting in their underoos and watching TV. They're not, yeah, let me go up and do this and whatever, right?
But
so
you have friends. They'll do anything for
Actually,
you.
I don't. I think I'm the fact that I'm just like locking myself in the house and doing whatever, I don't think I have nearly as many, friends who are willing to do stuff. And 9:30 at night. So 9:30 at night friends, I don't think I have anymore.
Except me.
Except you. Yeah, you hang out anytime, day, night, whatever. So you're good. Although trying to get you to do anything during the day is virtually impossible.
What are you talking about? Every time you ask me to do something, I do it.
No, not.
I would either do it wrong, but then I would get it right the second time.
that is possibly true. I might have to concede that point. But yeah, it's during the day people have stuff to do. You at night, you're always around. You get off work, you swing back here. There's multiple things that you do or can do at that time frame, but not so much like if I was like, hey man, who's not doing anything at 9:30 at night, Monday through Friday, like not taking a day off, because I'm kind of a Nazi once I get used to having some people do some stuff or whatever. I kind of
Make Graham do it. He'll do it for you.
He's got to work.
Who cares?
And he's pent up, he's got to go home and do stuff, so that's a good trick. But yeah, so what's up, Jason? What's up, Sarah? What's going on, y'all?
Make
I'm
Sam
trying
do
to.
it for you. He'll do anything for you in general.
Who? Sam?
Yeah.
Dude, Sam lives. Who knows where Sam lives? Like, he doesn't live close by, I don't think. So and dude, we see Sam once every few weeks or whatever.
Sees him almost more, I believe.
Yeah, no, he comes in during the day, so
yeah.
So that's that. Boom, 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 boom. I guess I didn't.
Why don't you ever just ask Mike?
Ask Mike what? Because he's at home.
Mike's not doing anything but playing video games.
It doesn't matter. He's at home, so he's chill.
What about Kai? The next time Kai comes in, you know he's a nerd. Nerds can do anything. That's what makes them unstoppable.
Yeah, that would be awesome, but I don't think you know what? I almost wanted to blame the whole problem. What's up, Pooley? I almost wanted to blame everything yesterday on my my car, dude. I get out of here, my car doesn't work right. Oh, the dude in Texas, right? So I wake up and he's doing a Facebook Live video, and in his video, hey man, man, it's early and it's whatever, and Seth Brock is the dude's name. And he's going on and on about, well, man, I don't know. It seems like a missile attack, man. The government can hide stuff, and they can do they can do all kinds of stuff, man. And it seems like we got attacked. I mean, I don't know. Maybe we'll find out later. And like the conspiracy theories, I'm laying here and I'm like, dude, believe me, I wish there were aliens. I wish there were, that we had contact with extraterrestrials,
right.
like, today. That would be awesome. Like if I had dude, what I really wanted to do was get like an alien mask and have like somebody here and be like, hello, you were the alien traveler that came in on the meteor last night, and do like a weird interview with an alien.
On the lows, I wouldn't be surprised if we did get attacked, because it's like nothing like that has happened before.
What do you mean? It's a meteor. They happen quite frequently. Just one hasn't been that visible and that big. Yeah.
That's
like here. No, they've been around. I mean, the other parts of the country, when you look at extreme, like if you Googled extremely large meteor, whatever, I mean, yeah, they happen. It's just we weren't expecting it. It would be different. It'd be like, hey, there's a meteor shower and you saw a big one. The fact that just one came out of nowhere and nobody paid attention to it or said anything, that was the weird part. So
no, I went home last night. I was super out of my head.
super relaxed.
And I told Tyler, I was like, Tyler, that explains why we had the huge heat wave, because the meteor was almost here. He's like, you're so right. Dom's like, you're retarded. Don't listen to her. because that made no sense, but at the same time, I was surprised that it made enough sense.
Yeah. Okay. This is good. Oh, nice. We could have had somebody on Skype looking like the alien, but nobody would believe it, because that could be some dude on another planet Skyping in, right? And they really didn't come to Earth.
Why didn't anyone make an ET meme?
Dude, the meme world was great. I even got into it and I had to stop. Like I had to call a timeout on it, because I listened to some of this. I found Joe Dirt. I don't know if you remember Joe Dirt thought he had an asteroid and it was like a humongous like poop, like a plane dropped whatever, and he's sitting there, and news tomorrow will be like local Taylor man claims to have found a meteor, and it's got Joe Dirt, especially because we were talking about Joe Dirt yesterday or whatever. Joe Dirt 2, and then there's a hoodie. It looks like somebody of course I figured out. I know it's not you because you don't have you said Skype. I mean, again, I'm not the mentalist or whatever, but yes, John, I did figure out who you are, you big, tall, lengthy alien. There was a hoodie. I survived the Detroit meteor of whatever, right? So and it's funny, right? So I went, oh, that's pretty awesome. And then, and was it that guy that I'm trying to figure, do the conspiracy theory stuff. I thought I saved it and posted it, but I guess I didn't. Then I've got one of Kim Jong-un or whatever, the North Korean guy. I don't know. Well, his dad was a little bit different than his name, but actual footage of what happened in the sky last night. It's him in a cowboy hat riding a missile. So that was another one. Like I kind of went meme crazy, like right first thing in the morning, and then I was like, okay, last one. Credit goes to my buddy Jason Hebert. He the crying, have you seen the crying Michael Jordan memes? Yes. Where anytime a sports team loses, they've got the crying Michael Jordan. And then anything happens and they've got it's the greatest meme in life. Well, it's his face with flames coming out of the back of it, hurling towards Earth. And I was like, okay, on that note, I'm gonna stop memeing. Like I should have a cup of coffee and go about my day. But I almost wanted to get up today and blame the meteor because the Texas guy was like, man, I heard there's millions without power, and it was some electromagnetic attack and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, dude, like you just woke up and you're having super conspiracy thing, and like,
that
yeah,
makes so much sense.
so that's what people are thinking. So the minute they see this, oh wow, what was that in the sky, what's going on, and what's happening, he immediately went conspiracy theory. And then there were other people like, yeah, man, we're going to check it out. You never know, man. The government be lying to us and whatever. And so it was pretty random. Now, this is something I want to talk about because it's you, your people, and your generation.
What do you mean, my people?
The Tide Pod Challenge. Have you seen there was a whole other list of memes. You remember when it was eat the chili and then do this, like all the weird challenges? Dude, you got to...
The cinnamon challenge was hilarious.
Didn't your sister do the cinnamon challenge or whatever? She did
No,
one of the...
she did this, like, what is it called? Like those sour things, the sour...
Super sour
Yeah,
thingy.
the super sour. That was retarded. I couldn't.
Then we have...
The ice bucket challenge.
Well, yeah, but the ice bucket. It's just stupid human tricks, right? Dumb things people do to, that they eat or whatever. Well, now they're taking Tide. Like, whoever started this, like, I wish we could go back to the one dude who's sitting around and was like, I wonder how many idiots who actually do this. Like, he'll make a fake one. Oh, and dude, I bet you won't, bro. And then watch everyone get sick and go to the hospital because they're eating laundry detergent or whatever. There's been things that they're saying they're locking them up, but it's not. No, they are not locking up the Tide Pods, at grocery stores so kids can't get them or people. But if they're in your house, I guess you could get it.
Like, why though? Like, why would you want to do that?
I have no idea. It's a stupid challenge.
Dumb.
Do you remember? And this was, this. It's kind of funny because it was really prevalent in the at least some of the ones that made YouTube were were in the black community where lighting yourself on fire in the shower. Did you remember watching those videos? Dude, and that one black kid who lit himself on fire and his sister was like, what are you doing? And he's on fire and like flopping around. Horrible, right? Like, oh, it's cool. I'm going to go ahead and light myself on fire and he went up in flames. It wasn't like just patted out. It was horrible. So, stupid human tricks are abound. But this Tide Pod, the Tide Pod challenge is stupid. And I love this random guy who yells and screams or whatever. So I'm going to go ahead and do this.
Challenges, mannequin challenges, water bottle flip challenges. But brace yourself for the newest fucking challenge. Take the goddamn internet. The Tide Pod Challenge. All you gotta do is stick one of these little fuckers in your mouth, hit record, then post. Who the fuck comes up with this shit?
Hey, Billy, let's put a Tide Pod in our mouth, swish it around, wait for it to explode, and post it online. Well, OMG, Jenny, that sounds like a radical idea. Bet you don't get 40 likes.
Fuck that! All I've seen is a bunch of no cage having, no ass getting bitch boys doing this shit. Fuck a Tide Pod. How about sticking some fucking protein in your mouth and hitting the gym so you can grow out of your baby cap jeans and pack slug t-shirt and start hitting switches on bitches, leaving hoes in stitches like a real fucking man. So fuck your 40 likes and mouthful of soap because it's Tuesday, International Chest Day, for the second day in a row. And everybody knows that when the pecs are popping, the panties don't be dropping. And if she wants a mouthful of something, that could be arranged. Swallows the goal, size of the prize. It's game to clock, motherfucker. Let's go.
Okay, that dude is literally insane. But the fact that he did a Tide Pod challenge thing, I had to play that.
Oh my God, what is this world coming to?
Well, and then the memes, they were like, oh hell, what's next? We can go ahead and we can do this one, which is what was it? Anything that resembled food. They've got a Febreze, like little things that you throw in the wash and they break down as you're washing, and it's kind of like a fabric softener or fabric.
My mom has that.
So yeah, those things, but they look like the Dippin' Dots, like when you go to Cedar Point. Yeah. So they were like, dude, you ain't doing nothing, man. These Dippin' Dots stage, the Dippin' Dot challenge. So now people are joking with like 38 other things that look like food or look like something else. So yeah, it's a real thing. I did find this. I did find something, and I posted it on the Bachelor Pad Radio site of idiot Yahoo, and I don't know if it's true. Right? You always gotta look and possibly take that into consideration that this may not be real. This guy tried vaping a Tide Pod, and it didn't go so well. Where he took it and like poked a hole in it, dripped it into his dripper, and vaped it. Since you're a dripper and you do whatever, right? Like, don't go home and try this. Like, oh my God, I can do this and post it on YouTube and be super famous or whatever.
It's not that deep. Surprisingly, I want to live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Life is good. So again, I can see this happening. I'm not going to guarantee that it's true or real, but really don't try this at home. An Instagram user has taken the Tide Pod challenge to a whole new level by attempting to vape the laundry pod. So this Yahoo literally, and it shows a picture of it. All the Instagram and the Twitter like pictures have been removed and whatever. Maybe they're trying to get ahead of it. Like, no, let's not let idiot kids watch this. But despite the warnings, an Instagram user who specializes in vape tricks recently shared a video of himself trying to vape liquid from a Tide Pod. Needless to say, it didn't go so well. The user later posted a PSA in which he warned copycats against trying, to do this. So, yeah. And it's basically the Tide Pod Challenge, proof that humanity is doomed. Like, dude, this is what we're doing. Like this, we've got way too much time on our hands and whatever, dude. It's, it's ridiculous. The U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission has also issued a warning saying that a meme should not be, family targeted and whatever. And then even Tide, what should Tide doing laundry, nothing else?
Jake, the real question: where are these people's parents on the lows?
They're both working because we live in a society that both parents have to work and nobody pays attention to your goddamn crumb snatchers.
Parents, like, how are they letting this dumb crap happen?
Yeah, no, it's bad news.
Dude, it is the end of the world, literally. Like, it's not gonna get better. It's 2018, and we're already getting really stupid.
Oh yeah,
like really stupid, and it in 2018 just happened.
We're going to hell in a handbasket, and that's why, don't you want to have kids and don't you want to do whatever? No, like seriously, it's got to be a full-time job. I would raise my kid like a little Mormon, like. He would be out there like churning butter. We'd have no electricity. Like, screw your phone. I'm not going to try and keep the phone away from you. We're going to live in a weird rural area to where there's no cell phone reception. Like, I'll let you out of the house at 18. You can go run around and do some stuff, and then you're on your own. But at least I'm going to try my best to, to get you.
You're going to homeschool?
Dude, you know what? I used to be against the whole homeschool shenanigans.
After seeing Graham and Al, I kind of want to homeschool now.
Yeah, I mean they've got their interesting set of issues between the two of them.
What are you talking about? Al's just a douche at times.
Wow, he's listening. He's listening, or he was listening. I can't guarantee he's listening. He's listening still.
Wrong. No, I love Al. It's just, dude.
Wow,
he makes some douches comments, some douchebag comments.
Well,
it's so funny.
You could call it that, or he's just a lot smarter than you. So they may kind of.
No, believe me, Jake. It can't go over my head because it's actually a douchebag comment.
Well, it kind of starts.
And it's funny as all get out because I'm like, what is wrong with you?
Well, it starts over your head because he's, because he's that much taller than you.
Everything goes over my head.
Well, he's like 6'8" or 6'9" or whatever.
He's taller than you. He goes over your head.
Yeah, but I'm smart, so I can kind of like my brain leaps. My brain will leap up to that area, So yours.
You can leap up there.
Yeah, your stuff ain't leaping that high.
I'm 5'4". I can't go nowhere.
5'4", you'd have to damn near be a genius to keep up with.
Hags, no.
To keep up with some of that. Yeah. So, okay, I was driving. I've got a weird thing. I don't know how, and you've only been driving for a couple of years, so I don't know how much you pay attention to, you pay attention to stuff or whatever. But but I have a weird thing because I'm super observant when I'm driving, and I'll look over, and today I was just, okay, I'm thinking I got to get here. I just left the wholesale, boom, boom, boom. And I'm completely immersed in like just weird random thoughts about what I need to do while trying to drive. But I'm stopped at a light. And as a truck's coming towards me, the light changes and it drives. And I look and I see, and there's a pretty girl in the passenger seat. From what you can tell at like, I don't know, 15, 20 feet or whatever. So I'm looking and I'm like, okay, cool. Pretty chick from a distance. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm looking and I I make direct random eye contact that I make eye contact and I look and she's got like this soulless dead look in her eyes like this idiot like next to me. I really thought this truck was cool and whatever. Like just like it was a fuck my life. Like what am I doing with my life, right? And I looked and the minute I see, so I was like, oh, pretty girl in the truck. And for some reason I made like direct eye contact.
Why would you do that?
And we're kind of like slowly going past and she, the same thing, like just boom and like direct eye contact. And I feel like there was maybe the meteor gave me some like weird special powers, like, you know, between today and yesterday, but it was kind of random because I get this whoop and I look and I like she would have just gotten out of her car willingly. Like, yeah, I could tell by looking at you in that 4-second like drive by, you've got to be better than this dude. Like I'm so over it. And it's weird because do you ever look like somebody's turning or whatever and you go, oh, who's that? And they look back at you and you try and like build some like mental dossier of who that individual is, or like, damn, that's a cute chick. And then she looks back at you and be like, damn, if we weren't both going like 17 miles an hour, turning left and turning right, I think there was something there. Like I could make something work out of this scenario.
Oh my God, Jake.
No, you don't know. Yeah,
The
I
fact
don't.
that you do that, like, why?
Because my brain is always working and it's always doing weird stuff regardless of what I'm doing. Like that, you know, when I tell you I like to take long road trips because I drive places. Sometimes it's because I take my animal with me, but it also allows my brain to work in a little bit different manner than it does here when I'm in front of people or just going here and there. It's almost like your conscious and your subconscious hit some weird level to where you've got to pay attention to the road and all this stuff. So all your faculties are paying attention to you not driving or throwing yourself off a cliff while driving. And then, but my brain will start thinking and whatever. And it's weird because I'll have really cool ideas and really good business ideas and just random stuff will happen while I'm doing it. And then cool, I'll pick up the phone, call somebody and whatever. It's really weird because there's something about driving and, you know, making sure you're on the road and watching out for wildlife to jump in front of you that your brain kind of plays on a little bit more of a subconscious level than being awake and conscious. So again, when I'm driving around here, if my brain is working, I'm thinking about stuff I have to do and I'm like, oh, pretty chick. Cool. Look at that. Huh. Wow, she really hates her relationship and whatever. Like it was like a snap.
All that
from
looking at her, like, bro.
No, and looking at as we drove by, it was just that look. And it's funny because it works on a little bit bigger, you know, of a scale because it's funny when you're out. I used to do this with with a girl I was dating when we'd go out and we'd have dinner and I'm a talky, chatty dude, right? So blah blah blah, we're ha ha ha, I'll try and say something to make you laugh and whatever. And we're out eating, and when you see couples that go out to dinner and they've either been married too long, they've been dating too long, they really don't like each other, but balls, I'm going to stay in this relationship a little bit longer, maybe it'll get better. Like you can tell from an outside perspective how well somebody's relationship is actually going than they can, and they're in the relationship, right? It's weird, like, oh, they're not going to make it. Like we would do like celebrity death pool on I wonder how long that relationship, do you think tonight's the night? Like I can't power through one more meal with you. These are all things that you'll encounter, as you get older, if you stay, observant or whatever. And Al says, tell her to get out of my spot. Get out of my chair.
Hi,
Al. And did you hear me? I mean, look, I was kind of mad at you the other day, but did you hear, she tried to say you say some douchey things, teetering on being a douchebag, and I just went with the height requirement and whatever. I kind of threw that in, threw that in there. So I was looking out for you, bro.
And I told you, I love Al. He's funny. But, yeah, they do come out as douchey things. I'm pretty sure he confirmed it before, though.
Yeah, no, he's
confirmed it before.
That is, you were typing as you said it. Okay, so you didn't even, he says you're dead to him. You're dead to me.
No!
So, and yeah, and Sarah is my, my equal in, in age and, random
The girl
experiences.
that you're talking to?
Yeah. She chimed in with truth. She was like, yep, that's truth. About looking at people and seeing them in relationships and, oh, they're eating and whatever. And like, you can see when people are miserable or not happy in a relationship. Like, now that I've told you this, and this is lesson, 976. It's a pretty good indicator that if you're out and you're having, oh, we're going to go to dinner and we're going to do whatever. And now it's different if it's a guy, but if the woman has the, like, I hate my life look on her face, you're doing something wrong. You know what I mean? You're doing something wrong. Yeah, it's because a guy can just be like, dude, I really don't want to eat. I mean, we could be saving money. We could be at home, but I know she wants to eat and whatever. Yeah. So guys are grumpy by nature. So there's a pretty good chance that, just being grumpy and being a guy is a thing. But if a female in a relationship, so pay attention like the next time, but you guys are always stogied and like always somewhat out of it.
No, I'm not.
But I really dig people watching. So even if I'm sitting here talking to you, I'm always, blah, 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 and looking around and I'm like, oh, look at couples sitting over there by the window. Dude, not good. Like, dude, somebody's telling somebody they're getting a divorce today. If not, they should. Dude, they look like they hate each other. Because it's a pretty good indicator if you're out and about and, you're doing stuff out in public and whatever, and you're not having a good time, or one or the two of you. Dude, we're guys. Life sucks, right? Life sucks. We die before you, right?
Oh my God.
You guys are going to live to be 82. We die at about 67.
So negative. Gee, there's
It's
a
actually
chance that the guy actually does live longer.
Yeah, there's a chance that, there was, the North Korean dictator flew in on a missile last night and it wasn't a meteor, but it wasn't. It was a meteor. There's science. If you look at life expectancy between males and females in the United States, females live longer. It's called science. You might want to look it up. Wikipedia. I say Wike. You say Wick.
You say Wike to be racist.
I do. That is. That's my low key. That's my low key racist move for the day. Is this Wikipedia? You know what I mean. But yeah, it's a thing. Like, guys, that's why I really don't like listening to guys bitch and complain, like, or whine. Right? Bitching and complaining is a thing we should be allowed to do. There should be a declaration of men. It should be on the no ma'am. Right? Like, I get it. Right? We work. We're not as smart generally as y'all, so we end up working and like picking up stuff. Right, we work at, like the dude who was in here earlier that, oh man, I just pulled 12 hours or 20 some hours at a steel mill. Then I was like, oh, didn't remember the name of his, the name of his coil and whatever. Like, oh, this and this, and I'm like, dude, go home, get some sleep, man. Drive safe. Now, I guarantee his wife wasn't working, and this will get me in trouble with no ma'am or whatever. I guarantee his wife wasn't working 20 hours at a steel mill yesterday. Can you get with me on that one? Yeah, no. That physical labor done by is kind of a male driven, I didn't go to college, male driven,
I'm seriously going to say that's really sexist, but at the same time, like, no, it's actually a fact.
There you go. Don't let your boobs get in the way of the proper thing, going through your brain. Yes.
Hell no, boobs distract all.
Yeah, they do. They generally do. Everybody likes boobs. Everybody loves Chris, the Chris Rock thing, or everybody hates Chris. I always say it backwards, but
it's everyone loves Raymond.
That's everybody loves Raymond, but everybody hates Chris or whatever.
Hates Chris. That's what I'm like.
I always think everybody loves Chris. I don't know.
No, that show was hilarious.
That show was hilarious. That was the deal. It really was, dude. I don't watch many of those shows that come on the random, like Channel 20, Channel 50, or whatever channel they are now. I never watched any of them, but that little kid played a very good young Chris Rock. I liked it. It made me happy.
That show was so funny and so racist. I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah, but just like watching the old Al Bundy stuff, when, I mean, not technically racist, but you want to talk about sexist, and that was on regular TV. That was the 90s. Like, dude, go home and, like, if you, the next time you get really stogied and you just go, oh, dude, just watch Old Married with Children, because that's what you do. When do you sit around and watch TV? That's about the only time it happens.
Gee, because TV is pointless, literally. Like, it's not helping. It's not making you any smarter. If anything, it's making everyone dumber, literally. I mean, they came up with the Tide challenge.
Oh, a couple of the other things that fall into the challenges were the Clorox. A couple of the memes were
my
like,
God.
we're like, hey man, Tide Pod or Tide Pod challenge. You're not doing, here, hold my beer, and they've got Clorox cut up in lines that look like cocaine and whatever. So good. Like I really think, dude, they ought to hand out the pods or whatever to people because, dude, seriously, like we need to lock them up and we need to stop people from doing whatever. No. Darwinism, right? Just let natural selection take its. If you're not smart enough to know that you probably shouldn't take laundry detergent and drink it, then you gotta exit the planet. Like if it was like flat earthers to where you could just walk to where the world ended and you just kind of jumped off, or that's what you tell them and be like, okay, your punishment is you just got to keep walking, right? Because the earth is flat, right? Of course it is. Did you believe that before or after you drank laundry detergent and you snorted Clorox? Nope, been thinking that since I was a youngster. All right, pal, here's your thing. You got to just keep walking until the world, ends, right? Because it's flat. And you're just going to fall over the edge. Okay, cool. And then they'll just keep walking around in a circle.
Jake,
They'll look like
you
forest.
just encourage suicide.
As far as the people who, well, no, I mean they're
Actually, by how things are going, suicide is.
what's weird though? The earth is round, so they're gonna keep walking. They're gonna get a lot of exercise because the earth isn't flat. They're never gonna fall off. They're just gonna get wet when they run into water on occasion,
Or eaten.
or eaten by a lion, or a bear or something. Both things are very, very possible. Oh, I just vape coughed. Yeah. So what else? Okay. So, generally when you're here, we give you a minute or two of random, oh boy, I wish we could have partially some of the fun conversations, like my instructional conversation earlier.
Why can't we have it?
We can. I don't know. That's me not being sexist by me saying, okay,
Jake, I'm a whole different breed. That's literally my excuse for everything. Dude, I'm a whole different breed.
Well,
I don't know what you're trying to do.
It was and this, if we do get into it, it's not extremely family friendly. So if you do have earmuffs and you could chuck them over your child, but
I
then
didn't
again,
know families listen to this.
you never know. Somebody could be new to the show and go, oh,
Jake, you should really
that
put,
girl
like,
that girl
viewer
has a funny
discretion R.
Yeah,
You should
well,
put R
it
on
generally isn't. It just kind of goes that way. And we try not to cuss and we try not to do whatever.
Jake, I haven't cussed at you. The only one.
Yeah, I know, but it was a minor league cuss.
You mean like how when Al was on here, it's like, no, when Matt was on here, that was cussing up a storm. I was like, bro.
Well, he does. He's the perfect example of shop talk, right? When you work, and even remember when we were doing the pre-show, we would have the pre-shows on before we started, and I would listen back, and I'm like, oh my god, I am just throwing in an F-bomb or.
Oh no, you cursed a lot. I was surprised. I'm like, bro.
Yeah, and it's weird, but that's how. I generally don't let anyone swear in front of ladies in here and whatever, but the ladies are pretty salty in this area. They're cool with it.
But it's
right?
still not okay.
It's still not okay. I don't think.
Come on now.
I mean, I would prefer, don't talk to your mother that way, or if my grandmother was there, I'm not going to drop the F-bomb. You know what I mean?
Of course.
There'll be a whole lot of darn and shucks, around grandma or whatever, but I feel everyone should be, and heaven forbid kids. That's the weird part of living here versus living in, some other areas that I lived in, where there's just like a certain amount of manner, that is displayed regularly, holding the door for people. And, if you see a child or whatever, yeah, you see, somebody comes in with their kid, and it's different if you don't notice it. But if you do notice it, like I saw you look back and you saw a lady and her child, walk through the door, and yeah, man, F this and, no damn, blah.
Dude, I cannot curse in front of kids. I don't care. It's like when a kid walks in here, like everyone just stops vaping. Literally. Like you've never noticed that. Like every person in here just stops vaping. And then nobody would like say anything because they know they're either going to curse or just say something stupid. Like it's so funny because I'm like, oh my god, a kid. Should we vape? Should we not vape? Wait, if a parent brought him in here, that means we could vape. But at the same time, I'm like, no, I can't vape in front of a kid. I think they should make the decision on their own.
which is a good decision. It's just weird. This whole this whole, before we get it, we'll save the creepiness until until
Why
the
do
end.
you say creepiness? I call it great conversation.
Well, no, it's great conversation, but normal people don't have that conversation,
What
and
do
then
you
they don't
mean?
put it online or put it out over the magic.
I would love to have this conversation with everybody. Like, just expose all of you low-key perverts. Like, I know you're a closet perv, but come on, you need to get out the closet.
Right, but see, mine wasn't extremely pervy. It was actually like semi-educational. Like, I think I couldn't have explained that better. And to you, because you're a novice compared to my experience of shenanigans, that. Yeah, do this. And it's funny when a guy is telling a girl how to do stuff that girls do sexually and whatever, right? But it's a weird conversation that a lot of people don't have, right? Because they just don't. So it's kind of weird. I mean, it was an interesting conversation. I mean, I enjoyed it. I thought it was funny. The only difference, because I am a weird, communicator
Closet perv.
Oh no, dude! I love it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm a creep, but I have very limited creepy stuff that I get into. I've got my things, right? I've got my weird fetish stuff and whatever, like things that I really like. I really like the nipple. I like this. Like, there's certain things like, it doesn't matter. I just like this, or I like that. What about all these other things? Really, don't get me wrong. I'll do them. I just don't really. They're not my thing. So I think my pervy is a little more vanilla than normal. But okay.
What's mine?
Huh?
What's mine?
You're weird, creepy. You know what I'm gonna do? Like, you could be like, oh, it's crazy. I've got this, and this. Oh, who's that? Hey, what's your name? Whatever. You want to give me a ride? And then you run out, jump in a car, and like, we'll go do shenanigans, right? That's not normal. That is
not.
that is a even funny. Like we were talking today when we were here, and you're like, oh, it's crazy. So and so is gonna come by. You remember? Don't use names. But oh, so and so is gonna come by, and I went, oh, cool, blah blah. In my head, I went, I bet you she went after that conversation went bing 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 bing.
Oh no, we talked about that last night. I was like, dude, because of the bait shop, and then I texted him today. I was like, are you on your way?
So that's but when you went, oh, it's crazy, so and so's coming by. Who would have thought? Kind of weird. He walks in and went, yeah, man, she texted me and said, come to the video. And I went, of course she did.
Of course.
But you didn't say it. See, so you didn't own your, like.
I said Graham's coming by. Fuck!
Wow. And you just, you cuss and do whatever. Cool. Yeah. And this is why kids don't do drugs.
I don't do drugs.
That's right. Or don't do Tide Pods or whatever.
Actually, snorting the
Clorox.
is actually low-key funny because I'm thinking about it. I'm like, okay, so you're going to snort it. But what if you actually manage to get high off of that?
No, you will die.
But what if you get high enough to where you just die, but you get that high for like 5 seconds?
Cool. Then knock
you die.
Then knock yourself out. Knock yourself out with it.
So basically, instead of doing that, heroin is all safer.
No drugs and no whatever. I mean, don't.
The greenies.
Well, the greenies, but that's not even. It's like medicine at this point. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it is.
You're right. That's no fun.
Yeah.
Acid's the move.
Oh, great. No, just stop doing everything. Eat more vegetables.
I don't do anything. I only do the greenies and the greenies. I can't do anything else. I feel like I'm going to end up with literally like 2 chromosomes.
That's not how it
2
works.
brain cells.
There we go. And that is exactly why and how we, how and why we say don't do, don't do what we,
Or I'll end up like the chick that comes in here. I'll end up like her.
What chick? I don't know. Don't say names.
I know. That's what I'm like. Pothead.
Oh yeah, there you go. Your friend, our friend ish.
Yeah.
About to be more of your friend.
Hell no. I skipped that train. Dude, she confirmed it. Straight is the move. At the same time, I'm like, no, being straight is so lame.
Okay, so So we danced around enough about our weird conversation, and you're cool with having the weird conversation of my instructional, my instructional conversation.
I'm always okay with having a conversation with you.
Okay. Well, this is weird.
Oh wait, I should probably make you sign a no ma'am thing.
No ma'am disclaimer. No, I asked and it was recorded because I did hit the recording. Well, you've had over the last few months, you've had the generalized conversation where you're like, oh well, guys, why does it take guys so long to handle their business when we're trying to stay family friendly? Will you allow the dance over? Sure you can.
Family friendly.
Yes, you can. No, this is the trick. This is the trick of how you do it and why you do it. So to get them to their happy place and where they need to be, right?
Why didn't you just say release?
Well,
get that release.
Okay, whatever it is, however you wanna paint it. But by doing so, I went, I remember having a conversation with a girl that I was dating, and I ended up dating her forever and ever, because when you're doing, when somebody is performing, fellatio, it always makes me feel very Shakespearean when I say fellatio. That when a female is performing fellatio,
you sound so fancy.
That's right. I almost want to put my pinky in the air while saying it.
Fellatio.
That's right. The fellatio. So when doing so, you're just happy that it's happening, right? So you're not going to be too critical on, hey, could you do this? And maybe you do the motorcycle handle, the vroom vroom, and twist the hand as you do, because there's a lot of weird techniques, right? So there's a lot of techniques, and you mentioned, you had mentioned at well, why does it? And I went, so you're just doing it, right? Just blah, blah, blah. And we went through hand on, hand off, and whatever, and all these things, right? So we went through a few of the things, and I went, well, look, if you want to know, I was like, there are other ways, like being vocal and verbal when it's happening is a huge thing for dudes. Because you asked me, you've got a couple things that you do that most girls don't, right? In that realm, in the finishing, in the finishing realm. No.
Like what?
in the closing act. I'm gonna stay in Shakespearean and whatever. In the closing act of the play, you do a couple things that are generally reserved for the people on the movies, right? So, and you went, well, hey, I want to step up my game. What else can I do? And I was like, in the whole realm of doing stuff, I love that now I'm doing it.
Bro, you might as well say it. The fact that you're doing it, you're making it worse.
I know. No, it's bad. I don't even know why this is happening. I wonder what this means in sign language. I wonder if it's totally different.
You're basically asking me. No, it's like when you look at someone doing that, just like
open the top on my bottle. No pun intended, right? That does kind of.
No, because it's like me and my friend would do that. He would just signal me, basically that.
Well, yeah, no, but I mean, but in real sign language.
Oh.
In real sign language, I wonder if that has any meaning.
Yeah, you're asking me to suck your beep.
What? Sign language that is not. Show me where that's real in sign language.
Here, it's called Google. It's called Google.com for a reason.
I love how you threw in the .com just to clarify.
Oh yeah, I mean I don't know how many.
So when you began to ask this, and I went, you know what? I go, look, Google it, right? We watch or not, or Pornhub it or whatever hub you go to,
Pornhub.
There you go.
RedTube.
The RedTube.
X videos.
So when you're doing this, and it's very good to always put yourself in the other person's, viewpoint or vantage point. So I go watch stuff, and I said it's really cool to be very descriptive while you're doing it, right? Make eye contact and, blah, blah, blah. The one thing I love is you pull up your phone and go, deet, 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 deet. Oh my God, yeah, no, that is kind of neat. Okay, bye. And I was like, yes, guys love it. And if you're looking to do things that guys don't normally have happen to them, but yet they see on a regular basis and probably would like to have happen to them, that is a great way of doing it. So you actually, you scoured the interwebs.
Yep.
Looked at a few things.
Yep.
Now, if it were me, I would say you would need a lot more research than that, because you'll see a lot of cool things said. But that would be definitely what you need to to up the ante. Because my story with the girl that I was messing with or whatever, she was doing it right. And you've even mentioned that hey, is everything cool? Oh yeah, everything's fine, right? The main thing is a guy like, yeah, just don't stop doing what you're doing. Yeah, everything's fine. It's not a point where you want to be too critical or you want to critique too much, like while it's actually happening. So one day I actually did, and I know this because it kind of killed the mood and whatever, that she wasn't using a whole lot of like suction. It was more like moving, like putting the lips around the teeth or whatever ish.
That hurts.
I mean, maybe.
I mean, it saves.
Yeah.
I mean, it's better than biting, but at the same time.
Yeah, but I mean, it doesn't hurt me. But there was no. Obviously, you're not sucking, right? And I was like, you do know that if you look at the word, it's almost like when you start breaking down, like Latin or Latin or other languages where this means this. Remember when you guys did the Freedom Snake, where you had to break down the word? But if it's called wisdom snack. So when you're doing whatever, I was like sucking blah or whatever blah. That is in the main description, right? So therefore, that needs to be a part of the process. And you would have looked. She looked at me and went, "Oh, really? Huh?" So, and I went, "Yeah, I'll show you how." Right? And it killed the mood for a minute, and I was like, yes. See? That's good. All the other stuff you were doing.
So you like bend down, grab your stuff, and just showed her how.
No, I talked her through the process.
I'm like, bro.
You're a creep.
Really? How
No.
desperate are you?
No, I went, look, what do you mean how desperate? I had a girl blow,
That's not blowing. That's
well, yeah,
God knows what.
well, it was probably a little more like blowing because it was just, I mean, there was something going over the top of it and whatever. It just there wasn't suction going on with it or whatever. It would have been
I feel like putting like a Cheerio over a toothpick, just
kind of, I mean, a little more and a little better than that, I suppose. So as this, and then it was cool and whatever. So I kind of went, that's where the beginning of communication during or talking about sex, of what you actually like and what the other person. Now, it's cool for you because you have me and I am like Yoda, when it comes to this, and go, watch this. Look at what they do, right? Every guy fantasizes about, like, when we're sitting around and watching, we're not watching it because it's less eventful than what we normally do, right? We're watching it and going, oh, dude, I wish my chick did that, or that would be awesome.
Seriously?
Like, holy crap. Like, dude, that's neat. Well, every time you do your magic, finishing move or whatever, every dude is like, yeah, man, girls don't normally do that. Like, dude, you've never seen it before? Oh, no, I've seen it on the, on the tubes and whatever, but I've never seen it in person. So that's one of those things. And again, adding more accoutrement to that is even better. So.
That's so interesting.
What do you mean interesting? You were like, yeah, dude, that's totally it. I'm going to do it.
No,
whatever.
It's interesting knowing that when guys watch.
When guys watch? What is wrong with you? Again, one of the chromosomes acting up? One of the
Shut
brains?
up. It paused. Dude, I literally paused. I'm like, crap.
No. When guys are watching whatever, it is a fantasy. We're
I
not
didn't
watching.
know what to say for it. I'm like,
I don't even want to know what kind of weird word you're. Oh, porn. You've already yelled the C word and like 38 other words.
Yeah, the C word.
You did too. You were very happy to say it.
C
Yes.
word? Cocaine?
No, you. So what, after you've dropped that, I go saying, porn is not a bad thing. Pornhub, we said RedTube and Pornhub and whatever.
You gotta name the good sites.
So I don't know. I go to one, but
I know you go to the stream.
yeah, well, the stream or the no. But if I'm watching regular stuff and not live, totally different. But
You were watching the stream.
Yeah,
it was quite interesting.
Yeah, no, it's neat, but So when so there's there. So I've given you the information. You go and run with it and see how and why and whatever.
I
everything.
I want to increase myself. I want to be better than everyone else.
Well, that'll do it.
I know, right?
That will totally do it. You barely
That on top of my finishing move.
Yeah. No, that's some all-star stuff. Like that's all-star game quality for sure.
If only it was an actual Olympian sport.
Dude, they give awards. Like if you go to Vegas at certain times, they're giving awards for for all that stuff.
Oh my god.
And hey, we're gonna go ahead and spin this off in a totally weird, different direction. Now that my Jake's sex education thing, just talk more, be very descriptive, talk about your finishing move, do whatever, blah blah blah, make a lot of eye contact, do it just like you see in there. I guarantee you will not have it takes way too long during the process to to get everybody where they need to be during fellatio. So after that, after I'm watching my normal stuff on Showtime and whatever. And there's this show called The Chi, right? Which is about Chicago, and obviously there's been a lot of stuff over the last couple of years where there's a ton of there's a ton of stuff going on there that's not good, right? Gang violence, murders, all this stuff. Well, I'm watching like a preview of it, waiting to get to my show. I know so I'm watching it, and I think part of the problem going back to the Tide and the pods and trying to be cool and doing dumb stuff, they had a couple kids, and it's an inner city urban school, and the whole thing of these kids, and I think it's a proper depiction of what's going on. Even in your middle school age, the need and the urge to be cool is so friggin', dude, it's like paramount. It's, I was going to do this, or there's a girl in there and I was going to act, or I was going to go and be in a play, but, blah, blah, blah. And then, well, here, get up and do this. I don't want to do it anymore. No, you said you were going to. Then he had to sing something and whatever. And they were talking about what kind of clothes and what kind of whatever. And, we talk a lot about education and high school and college and homeschooling and whatever. That the majority of what goes through your young mind in middle school, high school, and whatever is being cool to girls or guys, vice versa. And it was kind of weird. And I look at things from a sociological standpoint when I'm watching, weird, movies or TV or whatever.
What do you mean? When we watched Star Trek, that wasn't weird.
No, it's Star Trek. It's sci-fi. You can't really. But when you're watching normal stuff that depicts normal, people on Earth,
except for you falling in love with the alien.
That alien is. Yeah, I haven't seen her in a while, and it hasn't popped up on my watch list.
Oh my god!
But yeah, dude,
you want to see her?
Yeah, I don't know. It's neat. I wish she had a spinoff, and she was just living in a normal apartment. Like hey, I'm an alien, but I live in Earth, and she walked around looking like a zebra lady. Like it was pretty neat.
Yeet.
Yeah. So, but yeah, you have nothing. You're the closest to being in high school or middle school, and
What do you mean middle school?
You're closer to it than I am.
I'm kidding. Chill on me.
See why? At least could you try and hold it together or pull it together for the short period of time?
Jay, this is how I am.
You always say that you want to be on and you want to do stuff and whatever, but
it's called be yourself. Personality overall.
Yeah, no, because there's something in there. It's like no, I know. It's very possible that there's not something in there.
There's something in here. It's just.
But every now and again, I would like to hear your viewpoint on something, or if I change the subject and go in a certain direction.
But Jake,
you just what?
You won't let me pace.
Yeah, though it makes it kind of hard to talk. What are you going to take it and just take the cord and walk back and forth?
I haven't paced today. Think about it. Because usually I would walk in circles so I could think and get my mind going in a straight line instead of going in a circle.
Well, I would like to, as we're getting to the end of the show, I'd like to cliff note and put a few disclaimers out there. Kids, don't do drugs. Don't eat laundry detergent. H is not good for you, according to you. No, it is not the lesser of two evils. Don't do drugs. Be smart, right? Try and be smart.
It's 2018. It's not happening
no
anytime soon.
Well, and this is why I decided not to have kids, right? You go ahead and have kids, and then I have to deal with, hey, man.
Except me.
Yeah, except
me.
I somehow won you in the lottery. Yay. But yeah, don't do drugs. Be more communicate a little bit more during sex, right? If you like something or you want something, not all things are going to be cool, but if it's something that they're already doing, maybe go, hey, dude, if you
Well,
did
if
this,
they don't give it to you?
then you look for another partner. Because guys are not really good. Now, not all guys, right? But I've had a ton of guys. There's another thing when it comes to guys, guys in general, they seem to, not me, like, dude, if somebody's like, hey, could you do this and move that? And if you did this, I'd be like, yep, no. Dude, anything I'm doing in that thing, hey, you don't like it? I mean, I'm not doing this for my enjoyment, right? Like, I already know what I need to do.
The other person.
You got to, right? So if I'm doing something that's supposed to be bringing them joy and they would like it done in a little bit different manner, then of course I'm going to go ahead and do it in a slightly different manner. Shit, tell me what you want, bro. I'll do this, do that, right?
But not a lot of guys can do that, or they'll do it wrong.
Right, and that's why you learn or practice, and some people are good at stuff, some people aren't. But in that same token, guys, like if a girl's been in a relationship for a while, and let's say toys or whatever are being used, whatever type of toy or extra stuff that you bring into the bedroom. I've heard a lot of stories of a girl who got out of a long relationship and then messed with a guy. And generally, it's a guy who's a little bit younger, right? Because the guys haven't dealt with their ego issues. They're still kind of like, what, I'm not enough for you? Why do you need this French tickler? Or why do you need this and whatever? Because it helps them get to where they need to be, right? So guys get really, some guys will get very defensive and get very, kind of shut down, or their ego will take a huge hit. So it's a lot easier if a girl tells a guy, 9 times out of 10, it should be good. But you've got some of those guys who can't deal and can't cope. And I guess it plays the same with women, like, hey, oh, what? You don't like what I'm doing? You don't like the way I do it? Balls, right? That wasn't the response I was going for. I just kind of thought that if you did this a little bit different, I would like it more or better.
I think that if a guy's actually telling a girl how they like it, it does make it better.
Oh, no. It'll, of course, always make it better. But sometimes
they freak out, though.
But sometimes their ego. But why do girls freak out when they don't like to do certain, like, hey, I'd really like you to do this. Nope, not doing that. That's gross. Like, even, the magic finishing move. So I do not know what happens. By about the end of the podcast, my sinuses have been crazy. Like, my nose is stuffy.
Just sneeze.
I can't.
You want me to get some pepper?
Just sneeze.
Just sneeze. Ah!
Yeah, but then I'm getting the weird, creepy, like, bloody nose. Like, it used to happen to me, like, wintertime when you're trapped in the house all the time. It's drier air. And, dude, I almost thought about going in. They had a weird, what's up, Ernest? I almost thought about going in and having the surgery where they'll cauterize a couple of things. Yeah. I mean, not surgery. You've got blood vessels that are close to the inside of whatever, and when you blow your nose a lot, boom, it'll bleed a little bit. Dude, how creepy was that I had to sit here with, I was like, look, there ain't nothing happening. Like, I will bleed out. Like, all my blood will be on the floor. Dude, I don't have mild.
It's your time of the month.
Yeah, dude, just through my nose. So we're just going to go ahead and keep everything away from this area because I don't want to get pregnant. So, yeah.
When you eat a girl out and your nose when you eat a girl out and she comes, does it ever get in your nose?
No. How would that would have to be some trapeze like stuff or whatever. And yes, it has oddly happened to where something has made its way a little bit closer to my eye, and that wasn't cool. And I think we talked about that before, and it was not pleasant.
Technically, isn't that what you get because you shot someone in the eye?
Well, yeah, technically, but nobody else, no guy has. I think I may have been the one who basically pioneered that position where boom here and looking up while doing whatever, and yeah, nobody else. I asked everyone, and nobody's like, dude, I've never done that. It's not a bad move or whatever. But yes, I did it and didn't think of the consequences, and yeah, so I got the reverse, which I guess karmically.
Does it hurt?
Yeah, no, it hurts like nobody's business.
Really?
Yeah, it was.
Like, were you gonna burst a tear?
No, but oh boy, like, oh, hey, and she was like, oh, and I was like, no, we're not gonna stop. I mean, I'm a man. I'm gonna power through it. right? Like I'm gonna power through it. But yes, this was not it was not as pleasurable as not like I had ever thought about. It's the equivalent of somebody like spitting chewing tobacco in your eye, and it hurt like crazy. And but that's what you get when you have somebody sitting directly above you.
They should
And
make protective gear.
yeah, no, they do.
Every time you have.
It's just like using swimming goggles or whatever. I suppose that would work, or basketball goggles or whatever. Well, on that note, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here while I can still breathe, because
Jake just become an everyday mouth breather.
I know. Matt had a little bit of mouth breathing going on, because the bad thing with these mics is you have to get everyone, like you've got, in order for it to sound as studio quality as possible in an open room, you do have to talk pretty close to the mic. Dude, if you're and I'm like, dude, why do I feel like Jason Voorhees, like I'm in a Friday the 13th movie, and I like, dude, is there somebody behind me? I know there's a wall, but that dude seems pretty crafty. And no, it was somebody breathing.
It was so funny just doing it with him, because because literally when I would watch the videos back, all I hear is, I'm like, what the heck?
Yep, mouth breathing is real. The bad thing is I have to do it until I can blow my nose. Like, it's horrible.
Dude, just mouth breathe for the rest of your life. Just be like, every time you talk to a girl, hey.
Look like a dog who's panting. Like, I mean, look, that's the way I feel, but I'm not. I mean, I shouldn't be doing it. My nose is
I feel
stuffy.
like one day somebody's gonna notice a mouth and just be like, "Stop sucking on my hair."
Just weird things you say to mouth breathers or whatever. Oh.
Like stop taking my air, bro.
Yeah, I wonder how many people we've offended with the. Or they had to. Now here. Let me give you a little, like, this is like on the radio. If we wanted to have this conversation, just like the crescendo, you can say fellatio, you could say the finishing move. Hey, when the top, when you shake up a pop and the top comes off, ha ha ha. You could say all those things. You've got to dance around it. So even with you being a writer, figuring out other ways to say stuff without just using the balls. That area, the family jewels, or any number of things that you could say about them without calling them their actual name, because with dealing with with corporate radio and all these things, you couldn't say those things. You get fined an extreme amount of money. That's how you can train yourself not to swear, not to say some of those things. And for me, I took it as, oh yeah, it'd be a lot better. And that's why you watch a lot of podcasts and people just drop the F-bomb and F and S and they just swear and whatever, because there are no rules. I kind of like trying to keep it reined in as much as possible, and then coming up with more creative ways to explain things that are, in sexual of nature, or.
But when you're explaining things inside the vape shop, you curse.
Yeah.
You curse like a mother trucker.
Yeah. No, I did. It depends who it is. It depends. And you just got country. Well, you just got country, and you got extremely ghetto and whatever. Like you sounded like you were in the hood when you were talking to your sister earlier.
What do you mean?
Dude, what do you mean? What do you mean? You are like white girl crazy running around this joint 9 times out of 10. You sound like a valley girl half of the time. And then you get on the phone, and it's funny because I do the same thing. If you put me in front of an Arabic guy, I'm like, cuz, what are you talking about? What do you, man? It's the best water out there, bro. It's the best. Dude, that's the water, cuz. Believe me, I'm telling you, this is the water, man. Leave it alone. Even the hand signals, like.
Oh my God, bro.
The same thing how you were with your sister. You were like, man, shit, blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden you got slick, and I'm like, who is this? Like, dude, you sound like, you should have a rap album or whatever. I was like, dude, you just got urban as crap. And normally you sound like a valley girl. Like, where's my
There's a time and a place to be black.
Yeah. No, believe
That's
me.
why I still have a black card.
But, dude, I do it. I'd be like, dude, you put me around a bunch of black folks, and the same thing happens. You become a little more urban. You put me around Indian, it just happens. I can go Indian. I can go, Arabic. Country. I can do that. It was kind of neat to hear you sound a little bit country. I don't know about Hispanic. Because I don't know the language, but I know the fake accent or whatever, which is pretty funny.
What's the fake accent?
It's hard. I can't do it now. I'm going to end up doing it. I'm going to sound Chinese. It's bad. Like if I wasn't thinking about it, I could do it. But if I'm not paying attention, then yes, my Hispanic will sound like Chinese.
Wouldn't it
But
sound Mexican?
huh?
You're Hispanic.
Yeah, sure.
Isn't it just like a Mexican accent?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Do
Oh,
my
you
thing.
learned something. That's just a grouping of, of Spanish-speaking
Dude.
folks.
Spanish-speaking folks?
Yes. What would
is
you?
wrong with you?
What would you like me to say? All right. So we've hit the allotted time. I do appreciate anyone who stopped and listened to. The show gets a little sideways when we got Crazy Aaliyah in the
The
house.
show always stays on track.
Oh yeah. No, it was right. Just like a whoop. Just 100%. As you.
Is it one of those things where like it flew over my head?
Something like that. Just imagine everything was like Al talking to you. So Big Al did try, and we were going to set up our Skype thing and whatever. We should have the phone and some of the phone stuff set soon so we can take call-ins. You can call, yell, scream at us. You can chime in. You can talk to Aaliyah. It's a joy. I have to do it like 6 hours a day.
Okay. You're just depressed about that 6 hours a day thing because of the other day. The other day was fine.
Yeah, it was fine to you. On that note, this is the Bachelor Pad Radio, Facebook Live. We are signing off. Everything will be posted onto YouTube. Don't forget to check out inlandvaporofmichigan.com. I think that's the website. It seems really long.
Right there on the wall.
There you go.
It's not even of Michigan. It's just Inland Vapors, Michigan.
What does it say?
InlandVaporsMichigan.com.
With an S. Okay. See, we've got 38 different ways that we've written it, and we've got all the domains in like 50 different
you're
ways.
About to send people to the wrong site.
Yeah, that's fine. send us a message. Send us a message. Tell us.
Send them to the right porn site though.
That's right. Always got to send them to the right porn site. All right. On that note, this is the Bachelor Pad Radio, signing off.
Bye.
1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, and I'm hitting the wrong part on the thing.
Oh my God.
Stop streaming and stop.